I'm not quite sure what living an intentional life means, but I think it's something that I want to know more about, which sounds silly because living with intention, having a plan for the things that we do. But I feel like social media has taken that away from us. It's robbed us of living, experiencing, being here and in the moment. I find that every day after I leave work, I'm so exhausted that I come home and I sit on my couch and I only plan on being on my phone for a few minutes, and then the next thing I know, I look up and it's dark outside and I've spent all of the time, all of my free time in my day on my phone, watching videos that are making my memory worse, that I'm not going to remember, learning all of these cool things, but I'm learning so many things that what is my actual capacity for doing anything with that? Like, social media is very, very unintentional. Like, if I had to put my finger on what unintentional was, I could do that, but to live intentionally isn't something that I know how to do. So yeah, I have wanted to start making videos for a really, 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 really long time. I started making YouTube videos when I was a kid. And I just remembered every time I would get so embarrassed, or I'd get so camera shy that it wasn't something that I ever allowed myself to do. Every time I would make a video and I would delete it, or I would get a couple videos in and my sister would show her friends, and then I would get embarrassed and I would delete the videos, or I would say, well, I can't do this until I have a better camera or a better laptop, or, this and that. And I think it's just really been on my mind lately that if I want to do it, I'm gonna have to start somewhere. And so I think that the first step in being intentional is picking something and following through with that something. So I was laying in my bed, it's about 10 p.m. right now, and I was like, okay, if I'm gonna be intentional, then maybe this is the thing that starts it for me. I don't know what the journey's gonna look like. I don't know how hard it's gonna be to stick to, but I think my goal for right now is just trying to do one intentional thing a day. And maybe the definition of that is going to evolve for me and change, but right now I think the definition that I'm going to set for myself is picking an activity and doing it, which sounds really simple, and maybe that's what being intentional is, but who knows, not me. So guess it's time to figure out. So I don't know if I'll post this. I don't know if this will go anywhere, or if it's just gonna camp out in the camera of my phone. But I think that I wanted so badly to talk to someone about this, but there's like so many other things that I feel like run through my head that this isn't really a conversation that I get to have. I mean, I have a therapist and I talk to them about a lot of other things, and I have friends and I talk to them about things, and coworkers, but when it comes to spirituality and the way that I live my life, I think that that's not something that I talk about very often, or something that's an afterthought. And I don't want it to be an afterthought. I don't want everything I do to be an afterthought. And unfortunately right now, I really feel like that's how I'm living, and I feel like social media is a big part of that, and I've moved away from a lot of different platforms this year. I still have, a couple of social media apps, and I would honestly like to be able to detach myself from those. Like, if it's not something I'm using intentionally when I'm doing it, like if I'm just like, doom scrolling or like hopping on, or like sometimes I end up on my social media apps and I don't even like remember clicking on them. Like there was no intention to do that, and then I just end up there. And I know that there's a lot of neuroscience and data to back up like the addictiveness of social media, but I don't know that I've really read anything that has stuck, that's worked for me just yet. And maybe intentionality is that thing. Maybe really, really trying to be aware of what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. So I think, yeah, I'm gonna try to do one intentional thing a day, and then also maybe trying to read or find some more information about what living an intentional life means, in a healthy mindset that fits my lifestyle and who I want to be and what my dreams and my aspirations are. Yeah, and it just popped into my brain that this was something that I wanted to do. And for the first time in my life, I think I'm gonna listen. I think I'm gonna do the hard thing, and I pressed the record button, and talking in front of a camera or being on a stage or having a platform of any kind is probably the most terrifying thing to me, because once you put yourself in that position, you're opening yourself up for ridicule and judgment, and it just requires a kind of openness that I don't think that I have, that I think I'm really good at faking, but I don't think that I really have. So yeah, here's to an intentional night that hopefully turns into an intentional day, into an intentional week, into an intentional year, into an intentional life, because I really want to feel human again, and I feel like a work machine. I don't feel like a human. I feel like I live to work, and when I'm not living to work, I'm on my phone scrolling and giving these big companies and corporations who I do not like all of my time and money. So yeah, here's to being intentional.